Another really useful app that we have available to us in SharePoint 2013 is the Calendar app. If you've used SharePoint 2010 in previous versions, you'll know all about the calendar, and not too much has changed. But if you've not, then we'll just have a look here at how to use it. So I'll go to Add an App, and I'll choose the Calendar app, and I'll call it My Calendar. Create that, and I'll open it up. Now you'll see it looks a lot like the Outlook 2013 calendar, which is really good actually, because if you're used to that, then you won't be lost here. If you click on the calendar tab here, you can change between your day, your week, and your month views. And the events tab, similar to the items tab on, on all the other lists, allows you to interact with a particular event or item. So I'll change this back to the month view, and I'll show how we can add a new event. So select a day that you want to add the event. You could alternatively click new event here, but if you select the date here and click add, what you'll see is that SharePoint enters the dates here for you, which is useful. So I'll set the title my SharePoint demo, and I won't put a location. The start time will be the 27th at 9 a.m. and it will finish on the 28th at 5 p.m. I can set categories as you would expect. I can set it as an all-day event. And what I also have, which is really brilliant, is I can set recurrence. So if you're used to this in Outlook, you'll already know all about this. If not, I would definitely recommend you look up recurrence, because recurring events are obviously very common. You don't want to be manually creating events that repeat all the time. So you can use the recurrence here. I'm not going to go into how this works, because I think most of you, if you've used Outlook, know how this works. Otherwise, you can look up the documentation on recurrence, but it's fairly straightforward. You can set how often it recurs, and how the date range that you want to set recurrence of that appointment. So that's really good. So I'll take this off being a recurring appointment, and I'll press save. And you see here my new event appears on the screen here. So it's fairly straightforward, the calendar. Now, we talked about lists and content types and columns and all these types of things. Now, the SharePoint calendar is really just a list. It's based on the event content type. And what you'll see here is actually, if I change the view, I'll click on calendar. I'll change the view to all events. What you'll see is it really is just a list with a set of columns, just as any other that you would expect to see. So if, for example, I wanted to add a new column to my event, I could go to my list settings. I see I'm using the event content type here. I could create a new content type that inherits from that if I wanted to, or alternatively, just in this list, I could create a new column or add from existing site column, so that that column is now available for all my events, which is brilliant. Additionally, you actually see here that I have the attendees column. Now that's not used in the event content type, but I could add it if I wanted to. And if I wanted to do that, what I would have to do, because the attendees column is already available here, but it's not in the content type, I would actually just go into the event content type itself, and I would add the column. It's just a little bit slow at the moment, so just bear with us. Okay, and I would choose the attendees column to add, select OK. And now, when I go back into my calendar and I want to create a new event, I now have the option of setting the attendees for that event. So it's really useful. It doesn't assume out of the box that you want to have attendees for your events, but that's how you could set that up. So that's very useful to have as well.